To ditch the pitch and start connecting, I'm going to provide a little bit of overview and introduction about Laura before she gets started. So Laura Templeton actually is a connection. We talk about connections a lot with careers. Is a connection through Iona Conlon, our alumni relations officer. So Laura Templeton is a professional speaker, a two-time best-selling author, a brand communications consultant. With 10 years in corporate, using her degree in project management and 15 years in direct sales, Laura understands what it's like to be part of a team and a leader. After stepping into the role of national director for a women's networking organization, she found that many of her members had a deep-seated fears and frustration when it came time to share their stories, their 30-second messages. She used the knowledge she gained from her years of personal and professional development to educate her members. Word got out that she was helping people find clarity and confidence, and requests to speak to other organizations started to pour in. 30-Second Success was launched in 2015. She now teaches her global audience to communicate and connect more consistently with clarity, confidence, and compassion. So let's give a round of applause for Laura Templeton.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to get started with this today. Just bear with me. We're going to get started from the beginning. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of you taking the time out of your day to be with us and just to enjoy what I have to share with you today. So this is going to be a very interactive presentation. If you have questions, please feel free to raise your voice. I can still see you on the side of my screen. So if you want to raise your hand, raise your voice, I'm okay with that. So thank you. And I appreciate Iona inviting me here to spend time with each and every one of you to share my passion for helping people find their voice and help others understand exactly what it is that they do and who they're looking to meet. So let's get started with networking for career-bound college students. And I'm sure that my cursor's working here. So today, the objective of this presentation is really to help you understand how networking can help with career advancement, not just in the beginning of your career, but throughout your entire career. Life changes, things happen, and networking can be a huge benefit to you and the growth as you continue your journey. It'll help you stand out in interviews, and it'll also help you create that positive impression within your network, within your community, within the workforce, but also on day one and on the job. So these are some of the things that we're going to be talking about today, is how to do that. And it will also help you create valuable connections that will serve you throughout your career. And today, I'd like to invite each and every one of you to make a quick introduction of yourself. We'll go around the room. Awesome. All right. So why don't we go around? We'll share real quick your name, your field of study, and what you would like to get out of this presentation today.
Can we just pick up where we left off and start?
Yes, please. Yep.
My name is Jaden Battle. I'm a human development and family science major. What I want to get out of this is just giving me the best tools to give me the best chance at making meaningful connections tomorrow with our networking.
Wonderful. Next.
I'm doing Roman, but I'm looking to go into accounting probably, and I'm looking to learn a little something about 30-second presentation and introducing myself.
Thank you.
My name is Brandon. I'm going for exercise kinesiology, and I'm hoping to learn more about like training myself, especially for tomorrow's event.
Wonderful. So it sounds like a lot of you are preparing for tomorrow's networking event, right? Networking is the process of establishing and maintaining relationships with people who can potentially provide you with information, resources, or opportunities that can help you achieve your goals, both personally and professionally. But more importantly, networking involves building and maintaining a circle of professional contacts and actively engaging with them to share ideas, advice, and support. It's about helping one another. It's that give to get mentality. And if you can really embrace that as part of your personality, it will take you a long way in growing your career, especially and opening doors more rapidly for you. So understanding the power of networking and how it can help you advance your career. And what that means is it gives you more access to job opportunities because a lot of times job postings aren't necessarily out there in the public. They're internal. A lot of organizations love to post job opportunities within their organization because they like to get referrals from their existing employees. So when you're networking and you're connecting with people from organizations that may have those internal job postings that you're looking for, it can give you access to those opportunities. It also provides professional development where there's a lot of organizations that provide career training in their young professionals organizations or different opportunities within associations that might be in your particular field. It also gives you access to mentorship and guidance from people who have experience in the field of study that you're interested in and that you're entering into. And the other piece, it's great for building your reputation. When people get to know you, understand who you are, how you support others in your journey, then they want to help you grow your network, grow your career, and move forward. And it just helps to advance you throughout your career in whatever field that you're in. There are different types of networking that are available to you. And a lot of people don't realize how many different ways you can network with people, and you're already doing it. You're networking with people on a personal level, your family, your friends, your college, the other students that are in college, your college roommates, the people that you surround yourself with, the people that you surround yourself with are considered your personal network. Those are the folks that understand you and they have insights into who you are and how you serve others as a person. Your professional network are those that you've come in contact with your past careers, your current careers, and your future careers. Those professional networks are the people that you've worked alongside of, people that you've served in different industries. That's your professional network and your career going forward, those folks that you want to network with. Informational networking is another way. It's a great opportunity to learn from others, right? Informational networking is really about helping people understand who you are and going to, setting up interviews with people that maybe in a field that you are interested in and learning from them. The informational networking is so powerful when it comes to having an opportunity to sit down with someone who may be in a field that you're looking at in an organization that you want to explore and would be willing to share information with you that can help you make an informed decision. So I always encourage people to sit down with somebody that could potentially help them open doors. Social networking, that's when we're talking about LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter, and other social networking platforms that you may be engaging on. It's a great way to connect with people on a professional level. My preference obviously is LinkedIn for career networking, but there may be other opportunities based on your field of study in other social networking platforms. So consider social networking and how it can help you grow your career and advance in the knowledge that you have. The other thing is events, corporate events, college events, networking opportunities, different chamber events within your community. Community events are a great place to network. A lot of people that you want to get to know will come out to community events and you'll have an opportunity to meet them. Make a point to get involved and go to different corporate events or association events in your field of study. And you'll start to meet some people that may be able to help you in that career advancement. Comment about that. So making initial contact. So the biggest thing when just contacting and connecting with people in your organization, in your network, is leveraging common interests. I love to ask very intentional questions to get people to lean in and have a conversation with me. One of the greatest ways to do that is to learn something of interest to them and then talk about it, especially if it's a common interest. If it's somebody else if you're in marketing and they're a graphic designer, ask them about their experience as a graphic designer. If you're in IT and they've been working in cybersecurity, ask them about cybersecurity and express an interest in that if it's something that's interesting to you. Be clear and concise. Confidence, and this is a big key takeaway for people who struggle with presenting themselves, especially that fear of public speaking. Most of the time, it's not knowing what you want to say and not being clear. So when you can speak clearly and effectively about what it is that you're interested in, what gets you excited, your confidence starts to grow and those fears start to fade away. Because when you are open in sharing exactly what it is that you want and what you're good at and how you help others, it just sets you apart from a lot of people and removes a lot of barriers. Offer something of value. How can you help someone? Listen to what they're looking for. You may not know someone specific that can help them, but you may know someone else who would. I love connecting. I know a ton of people. And if you had somebody say to you, I'm looking for somebody who can help me understand what it is to be an independent owner of a marketing company, I could probably connect you with about 10 different people, right? But you may not necessarily know somebody who owns their own marketing company or has had, in a, six-figure income from that business or a seven-figure income from that business on a regular basis. But I do, and you know me, and you could tell them, hey, I know Laura Templeton. She knows a lot of people. Let me see if she has someone in her portfolio that can help you. And call me. Call me, connect with me on LinkedIn. Who do you know? Is a great question. Seek out referrals. Again, it comes to the who do you know? Ask for referrals. Ask your network. Who do you know that can help me? Who do you know that I could help? Those are some really great questions. So seeking referrals is a great way to build your network. And you may just be looking for a mentor, right? Not necessarily a job opportunity right now. You may be looking for a mentor or some kind of guidance. Ask for referrals for that. It's a beautiful opportunity when you are open to asking for what you need help with. People will pour into you when you are willing to ask. It's amazing how many people will come alongside of you and help you grow your career when you are open to asking and you're honest that you need help, right? So use mutual connections. If you see that you are connected with somebody on LinkedIn or, through various organizations that you belong to, and yet you don't know someone directly, again, use those mutual connections. Reach out and say, hey, I see that you're connected with Laura Templeton on LinkedIn. I would love to learn more about your industry. Would you be willing to have a conversation with me? It's a great, easy way to use a mutual connection, right? And then personalize your messages. When you're reaching out, when you're using social media and you're using the DMs, make sure that you're personalizing your message, that you're not just creating a template and sending it off. Make sure you personalize it to the person that it's going to. Recognize something about their work. Do a little bit of research, learn a little bit more about them. Hey, I understand that you've been involved in construction project management. That's something of interest to me. Would you be willing to share some of your insight with me? So just personalize it. Makes a big difference. People are more willing to help you when you've taken the time to learn a little bit more about them because they see that you're willing to put an effort in. So 30-second messages is something that I talk about, and you'll all have my book, 30-Second Success, Ditch the Pitch and Start Connecting. Ditch the Pitch and Start Connecting is a book that I wrote, and it was launched in 2020. And you also have the workbook. It was written specifically for business owners, entrepreneurs, people that wanted to get themselves out there in the networking world, helping people understand how to network more effectively. This is something that will be really helpful for you in your career and going forward. Feel free to ask me any questions. My contact information is in there. But I want you to know that I'm actually in the process right now of writing another book, 30-Second Success for the Career-Bound College Student. And as soon as that's available, if you connect with me on LinkedIn and let me know that we connected here today, I will make sure that you get a copy of that for free. So that I will make sure that I send that to you. But we're going to go through a formula that's a little bit different. You do have this in your handout. This is more for the college student who's getting ready for their career. And think about your 30-second message as a door opener to the next conversation. Your 30-second message is not meant to convince someone that they need to hire you or open a door for you. It is really a key element to opening a door for the next conversation, because relationship building is what networking is really about. So again, the formula for your 30-second message, and you do have this on that handout, is identify your goal first. Understand what it is you want from this opportunity that you have to share your message. So what is the goal? And then make the goal that pivotal piece for creating your message, starting with a hook, highlighting your skills and experiences, emphasizing your goals, and then ending with a call to action. So I'm going to share this quickly, and this was a case study, or actually just a quick story about how your 30-second message works. So hi, I'm Jean Smith, and I'm currently a marketing major at Penn State University. I'm passionate about creating innovative marketing strategies that engage audiences and drive results. Through my coursework and internship, I've gained experience in social media marketing, content creation, and event planning. I'm particularly interested in the fashion industry, and I'm eager to learn more about how marketing can be used to build brand awareness and drive sales. I'd love to learn more about your experience in marketing and hear your insights on the industry. Are you open for a call next week? So this is just an example, and just a show of hands, how many of you can actually see the formula in progress here? Right? You can see that it takes shape and helps you to stay on point in what you want to do. What I would love to do next, and this is something that we talk about all the time, is helping you understand that building and maintaining relationships is key to networking, right? Building and maintaining relationships, your networking doesn't stop after the event's over. And that's something that I really want you to understand. So tomorrow, when you are networking at the networking event, make sure that you get the contact information of the people that you're talking to so that you can follow up later. And then you want to keep in touch. Find out something that you can support them in, and offer support. Be respectful of their time, right? If they're sharing information, be respectful of their time, because they have other people that they need to talk about. That's a great opportunity. If you're engaged in a conversation with someone one-on-one and you're at a networking event and you see that there's a lot of people and they might start to get distracted because there's other people that they want to talk to, just invite them to have a deeper conversation one-on-one. Hey, I can see that there's other people here that you need to connect with. I'd love to lengthen our conversation. Would it be okay to schedule a call with you in the next week or so we can continue our conversation? Because I'm really enjoying learning from you. Would that be okay? Get their contact information and then allow them to meet with other people. It's showing respect. It's showing a deep understanding of who that person is and how important they are to the network. So attending networking meetings, make sure that you're putting yourself out there. Go to other events. I'm sure there's networking events right on campus. Any kind of socials that you have going on, or group opportunities that you have for getting together, and then make introductions for the people in your network. So networking etiquette is something that a lot of people ask me about, because sometimes we go to a networking event and we don't know how, what's expected. So there is a little bit of etiquette that we talk about, besides making sure that you're dressed for success and that you shake hands well and that you present yourself well, and you don't eat, talk with a mouthful of food, or get sloppy drunk if it's a happy hour event. Those are just some of the common ones that I get a lot of times, because I've heard some interesting horror stories about that. But these are just some simple networking etiquette tips that I want to share with you. To be genuinely authentic, right? Be you. Share your knowledge, share your information, be inquisitive. Ask a lot of questions. People in your industry love when you ask them about their experience. Listen actively. Don't just talk at people. Listen, be a good listener, and then reiterate what you've heard. My understanding is, be respectful of time. Again, just going back to the last slide, be respectful of time. Prepare a 30-second message. Know what you're going to say before you go to an event. I will tell you, many times I have actually, and still, I mean, I'm doing this business 8 years. I was networking well before I started this for like 15 plus years. And times I will still read over my 30-second message before I get to an event, just so I don't have to think about it when I'm there. And it kind of rolls off my tongue when people ask me, oh, so what do you do? Right? Or it's your turn to share your 30-second message. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? So tailor your approach. And that's when it comes down to knowing what your goals are. What do you want from the event? So tailor your approach. And even when you're approaching someone on a personal level, if it's somebody that you want to get to know what you're going to be asking them specifically for. Offer value. How can you help others? Is it with a tip? Something that you've learned recently in your studies? Is it with something that you've learned online? Something that will benefit them? How can you help them? Be of service. Be mindful of personal space. The personal bubble, it's a real thing. People get a little freaked out, especially at networking events, when you're networking with somebody who might be a little bit more introverted. Introverts are amazing networkers because they're extremely prepared. They know what they're going to say, but they also have a personal space issue. You come into my personal space, I'm going to start backing up. So be mindful of that. Practice good online etiquette. Online etiquette is just as important. Be professional. So if you remember to be professional, respond well, don't be curt. Make sure that your answers are read well. Sometimes we get really busy and we have these one-line answers, and all of a sudden it sounds like we're just kind of like flipping someone off. And that's not the case. It's like making a mistake, like sometimes it happens in texting. Well, that could happen online too. So be sensitive when you're creating your answers, be professional, be clear in what you're sharing, and have good online editing or online practice for that. Follow up and maintain connections. I have over 6,000 connections just on LinkedIn alone. I can't tell you how many other connections are in my CRM of people that I know. It's hard to follow up with that many people. So I'm very, very particular about how I do that. And I have a follow-up system that I stick with, just, staying in touch. I have my top 100 that I try and make sure that I stay connected with over, every 3 months. I have my top 50 that I do once a month, and then I have my top 10 that I do on a weekly basis. So make sure that you create a system that will help you to follow up with people and maintain connections. Send them articles, send them a quick little idea, create a post and tag them in it. It's an easy way. It's not like you're picking up the phone all the time or texting them all the time. Just letting them know that you're thinking of them by tagging them in a post is a great way to stay connected. And then be prepared and informed. Again, be prepared. Know what you want. Take information with you. Have a business card. And you can have a business card even if you're not in business yet. If you haven't started your career yet, have a personal business card so that when you're networking, you can give someone your information easily. Or get how many of you have a QR code for yourself that you can it's a digital business card. So moving on to understanding how networking strategies can help you with your career. So networking to secure interviews. This is a big piece of, again, reaching out to current and former employees, attending industry events, there's a lot of opportunity to find interviews that may not necessarily be posted, opportunities that may not be posted. So attending networking events, utilizing LinkedIn, putting yourself out there is going to help you to find opportunities that others may not have heard about yet, and put you at the front of the line, right? Being able to put yourself in front of somebody who may have an opportunity, sorry, that may not even be available yet, but they know they have an opening coming up, may put your resume at the top of the list. So look at this as an opportunity to network and secure interviews that you may not necessarily have known about. So, utilizing LinkedIn, join professional associations, and network with alumni and connect with recruiters. These are all great ways for you to look for opportunities to find interviews outside of the normal resources. Once you have that interview scheduled, you want to prepare for it. So again, understanding how to network, even during an interview, is a big piece of it. So research the company, understand what it is that the company does, how it operates, what the structure is. And you can also research the person that you're going to be interviewing with. Review the job description. Understanding the job description and how you fit that job description is imperative to what you're going to be sharing during your interview time. Think of your interview as an opportunity to share your 30-second message. Most people who interview you will ask you, so tell me a little bit about yourself. It's a perfect opportunity to share that 30-second message. So prepare your responses for common interview questions. Tell me about yourself, right? What kind of experience do you have? What did you like about college? Think about I'm sure that Leanne can give you a list of common interview questions that you may run into, and then practice those responses. Again, find a classmate that's willing to help you practice, or find a group. Put a group of classmates that would be willing to sit down and practice some responses and work through those responses together. You'll become more comfortable when you do. Somebody was talking about having that, the fear of public speaking, right? Again, when you practice, when you're putting yourself out there, the more you do, the more you share your message, the more comfortable you become. And that practice helps you to overcome that fear. So knowing what you're going to say, being able to practice what you're going to say really helps in those moments when you're feeling like that the walls are closing in and the fear of public speaking, it just kind of takes the stress right out of it. One of the tips, and I will give you this for the public speaking thing, somebody once said to me about the fear of public speaking, and you get those butterflies in your stomach and you get really nervous just before you have to go on stage. Trust me, I'm a public speaker and I'm an introvert. So there's that conflict that goes on inside my body. And somebody had shared with me one time that to think of that as the fact that we are all energetic beings. The human body is amazing. We are all energetic beings, and you're excited about sharing your information with the world and getting your knowledge out there. But at the same time, your audience is just as excited, if not more excited, about receiving it. And your body is feeling all of their energy. So you're receiving the energy of your audience. And when you can think of it in that respect, that those butterflies are really just the energy that you're receiving from the audience, and you can thank them for that internally, and then step out there and give them what they're excited about receiving. It changes your perspective about that fear of public speaking. At least it did for me. So I hope that's something that would help you in that respect. So bringing copies of your resume is a big piece. Dress appropriately. I know you don't need to hear this, but one tip that I received years ago about showing up for interviews was know what the company culture is, like know what their dress code is. and then go one step above it. So if they wear jeans and t-shirts, wear your really nice jeans and put a blazer on with it, right? And then instead of sneakers, wear shoes. So it's like going one step up, right? So you've taken that professional step. You still want to emulate the, the culture in their corporate in their company, but you also want to show that professional side of you. Like I'm putting an extra effort in here, right? Bring copies of your resume and references and follow up after the interview. Follow up is huge. Make sure that you are sending a thank you letter to at least to the interviewer and the human resources person. Reaffirm your interest. Address any concerns and ask about next steps. You have every right to ask about next steps. You also have the right within your interview to ask questions. A lot of people will say to me, well, if I'm going to an interview, they're interviewing me. But you have to understand, you are also interviewing them. You have just as much right to ask questions about them, the company, about the management, about how the team operates that you'll be part of. Those are great questions to ask them. That again shows your initiative. It shows your interest in positioning yourself well as a good fit, a good candidate for that company. And then asking about next steps. Make sure that you close the email well with the proper signature, right? You want to close with authority, you want to close with knowledge and confidence. So make sure that you're thanking people well. Congratulations, you got the job. That's the biggest piece. Once you've got the job, remember that it doesn't end there. Networking continues, and we want to make sure that you are standing out on day one. So to stand out on day one, there's just a few simple tips that I have for you. Arrive early, dress appropriately, be prepared. Introduce yourself to everyone you come in contact with. Make sure that you are shaking hands with everyone that your manager is introducing you to. If you have a coworker that they've paired you with that is going to show you around the office, make sure that you thank them, right? Make sure that you're show them appreciation for their efforts. Show enthusiasm about being there and starting. Ask great questions that will help you get off to a good start and be a good listener. Listen to what's going on around you. Find ways that you can help and just interject if you have to. But more importantly, on day one, you want to be a good listener so you can figure out what your role is and where you fit into the team. Take notes and be proactive. And then at the end of the day, reflect. Reflect on what you learned about your new role, where you fit in, how you can be of service to others, and how you can help the organization as a whole. And then throughout your career, these are some tips that will help you stand out on the job, right? Be reliable, be a team player. Communicate effectively. Effective communications are huge. Make sure that you are putting good content out there that's to the point, gets the information out there, and lifts everyone up. Be adaptive. Make sure that you are willing to adapt to different situations, show your adaptability, continuously learn and develop yourself. Whether it's on the job or outside of the job, there's a lot of opportunity for continued education. Be solution oriented, making sure that you are not just, if you have an issue, make sure that you can offer some potential solutions for that issue. Demonstrate leadership, help others, support others, and show the leadership if you're willing to step up and take a leadership role. Seek feedback and implement improvements, right? So a lot of times we ask for feedback, but sometimes we need to ask, okay, so what are some of the suggestions, right? Get the feedback from someone saying, well, what do you suggest I do with that? How do you think I could improve in that area? And then implement those improvements. Network within the organization, not just in your own team. Network outside of that. Meet other people in other divisions. Find out what they're working on. One of my favorite things when I used to work for an organization called RCA years ago when I first graduated college, and what I loved about that organization was they actually brought teams together to brainstorm issues within the organization. The other thing that they did for us was they produced a newsletter every week that told us what projects were happening, what positions were opening for hire, who the hiring manager was, and it gave us an insight into the growth of the company and all of the different projects we were working on, so that when I was networking, I knew what to listen for in case someone else that I knew would be a good fit. So those are some of the things that you can do to help you stand out. Maintaining professional relationships. Again, whether it's on, in your first job, in your second job, going forward, I still have friends, not just from college, but I have friends from every job that I've ever had. I still have connections, friends that we've stayed in touch. So keeping in touch with others is a big piece of it. Just by reaching out every once in a while, saying hey on LinkedIn, picking up the phone, making a quick phone call, shooting them a text, how's it going? My husband just recently had one of the gentlemen that left his company, went to another company, and he reached out to him to see how it was going. And unfortunately, the gentleman said, I just, after 6 months of being here, I just got let go. They were downsizing, and my husband was able to quickly put him back in touch with his old manager and asked if they would be willing to interview him and see if he would want to come back to his company. So he opened a door for him. And that's just one of the things that you can do for the people in your network. Be respectful of their time. Make sure that you're not taking up a lot of their time when you're having conversations with them. And that comes down to being a good listener and asking great questions. So by being more respectful of their time, being very focused on the conversation, and then not just, they talk about water cooler talk. Just be careful that you're not at the water cooler for all 8 hours of the day. Attend company events. So, make sure that you're putting yourself, front and center with all of the company events that are happening. Make sure that you're engaged and involved in the office as well as outside of the office. It's a great way to maintain those professional relationships. Seek feedback from your peers, from other people within the organization, and then express gratitude. Let people know that you appreciate them for helping you, no matter what it is, even if it's just something simple, something small, because believe it or not, they will go out of their way to help you again. And then collaborate on projects. Project collaboration, not just within your team, but also think of other teams that may be working on something similar. I've been involved in projects where we've been involved in a project and I have to bring other teams in. And from a project management perspective, in my background, we would literally have 8 different teams working on the same project. So that's collaboration when you have that many teams that you have to coordinate. And it's all the timing that's involved and everything else. So make sure that you are collaborating well on projects. Sometimes it can actually bring solutions faster when you do. So this is a recap of what we just went through. I know it's a lot of information. I'd be happy to share anything with you later on if you have questions. So networking for career advancement. Why networking is important. Various types of networking. We touched on the identifying potential contacts, making initial contact, and building and maintaining relationships. We talked about that 30-second message and how to create that message for your networking opportunities. Networking for interviews, talking to people, and definitely based on what your goals are for those conversations in networking. Tips for preparing for interviews and follow-up, how to stand out on day one and on the job, and the importance of networking at work, and then maintaining professional relationships. This is a lot of information that I shared with you. I hope that it was very helpful for you. I'm available to help you in any way, shape, or form when it comes to your messaging and networking. Please feel free to reach out to me. This is my contact information. You have it as well in the handouts and in my book. I'm going to actually take some questions now. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So I know that we had a lot of folks that had to move on to a new class. So we had to go through those last few slides pretty quick. Is anybody who's still here with me have any questions or any insights that you would have. Yes, in the back.